So we now work in the worksheet 4 about buildings. We're going to draw the building where you live and then answer the questions. Dibujemos donde vivimos, a house, our apartment. You're going to draw the building. What type of building do you live in? Okay, that's really up to you. That's a personal question. What type of building do you live in? We can say, I live in a house. If you live in an apartment, please write, I live in an apartment. Okay, I live in a house. Is your house similar to your school? No, it's not. No, it isn't. Why not? My house doesn't have so many bathrooms, or my house isn't that big. Schools are really big. Houses aren't that big. My house is small. Most houses are small. And the school has many classrooms and bathrooms, restrooms, and oops, sorry. Office, and many things that a house doesn't have. So the school has classrooms, bathrooms, office, and so many things, right? So the house doesn't have them. Office. Okay. So no, my house isn't similar to the school. What is the most unusual building you know? An unusual building. What do you think? Maybe, I don't know. What do you think? The 14 in Heredia is an unusual building. Maybe, or Juan Santa Maria's Museum. It's very old. And it used to be a fort for the army. So it's very strange, that part. I don't know. Think about unusual buildings. We don't have many in Costa Rica, I don't think, right? Unusual buildings. If you know some, well, you can write that down, of course. Okay, so we are going to go down the page and we have a match. And we have Tarxin temples, Coral, Pyramid of Djoser, the Colosseum, Sydney's Opera House, and the Taj Mahal or Hagia Sophia. Okay, so we are going to match the places where they are. Remember what we just read? Okay, so we are going to match them with some arrows. These temples are in Malta. That's one. Coral. I think that was in Peru. I'm not sure. The pyramids are in Egypt. The Colosseum, that's so beautiful, it's in Italy. The Sydney Opera House is in Australia. And finally, this tomb is in Turkey. So we have our match right here. Beautiful places, right? They're really beautiful. We're going to move to the next page, and it says, use your own words to describe these things. Excellent. Remember what we just read about materials that can form or can be part of modern buildings these days. So remember, self-mending concrete has bacteria, and when it cracks, it has bacteria. When the concrete cracks, it fixes the bacteria. The bacteria fixes it. That would be so interesting, right? Fix the crack. Sorry. Okay. Water also helps the process. Okay, I think the bacteria is like the main part of self-mending concrete. Aerogel. Okay, that was a good insulation material to keep heat in or out. If it's very cold, it keeps heat in. If it's very hot, like in Alajuela, this material keeps the heat out. Spider silk, that is a very, very strong material, and maybe the most, I don't know, efficient material in the world. So we could have spiders build buildings in the future. Extra strong material. And green building, it could be made of recycled materials, or maybe even generate their own water or energy, right? They are environmentally friendly. That's a green building. That could be very, very interesting, like maybe having solar panels and a water, I don't know, purification system. Okay, so that was it. And now we are going to read the questions and make notes. Why are buildings important? Wow, people live and work in buildings. And children go to school in them. They offer shelter from the sun, from the wind, from the rain. Or we had to live in caves from weather conditions. Imagine if there was some strong rain and we didn't have a building to protect ourselves in. Or, I don't know, in the past, maybe dangerous animals. And we have created more uses for buildings, right? What are the buildings in your city made of? Most of them are made of concrete, right? Most buildings in our city. Some are made of wood, but that's not the norm, and people don't build much with wood or any other material. What are two famous buildings in your city? Okay, so we can have Juan Santa Maria's Museum. That's a kind of famous building, not too much, but okay. Oh, building no museum. How about the National Stadium? It's not in our city, but it's very famous. And it's very interesting, right? The building, the design looks like a crown. So it's interesting, the National Stadium in San Jose. Have you visited a famous building? And what did you see? We have visited the museum. If you have visited another famous building, you can choose another one. We have visited the museum. It's kind of interesting. It smells funny. It's very old. We saw um, old furniture pieces made of wood. Very interesting. Like chairs, desks, and objects like weapons. And enjoy the historical event, letters and event explanations. It's very interesting. The Juan Santa Maria's Museum. Okay, how about you? Have you visited a famous building? Thank you very much for your work today. See you tomorrow.